Kia ora, and welcome to the Tauranga World Sevens proposal. In partnership with Sports Bay of Plenty, New Zealand Rugby Union and the Rugby World Cup Sevens, we will be talking in this proposal about the benefits it will bring to Tauranga, also the wider Bay of Plenty. The security will also be mentioned for the event, staffing and volunteers, and how the Sevens will be marketed along with overcoming ambush marketing. So let's take a look at the benefits for Tauranga. First of all, employment opportunities. So this will increase job opportunities in the following areas: security at the Tauranga domain, ticketing distributors, food vendors, merchandisers, and also including the upskilling of volunteer staff. International exposure to New Zealand will increase more tourists as they become aware of New Zealand through social media and media coverage. Community involvement and community pride. So the communities will be showcasing their region to maximise the promotion of Tauranga through the media and broadcasting of the Rugby Sevens to the wider world. Social cohesion and education. Strong local involvement by showcasing their region, developing educational programs for local schools such as Tauranga Girls and Tauranga Boys. It will also bring together the strand of building youth, celebrating multiculturalism, and to drive community connections. Programs will be run throughout Tauranga, offering opportunities to meet and greet with the world's best Rugby Sevens players. Developing infrastructure and facilities. This will be upgrading transport links and other infrastructures constructed for the Rugby Sevens, which will become lasting legacies, and also encouraging the youth to be more involved in Rugby Sevens. So now let's take a look at the benefits for the wider Bay of Plenty. Many of these benefits overlap the same benefits from Tauranga. For instance, the international exposure and international relations. So due to the increase in media coverage, there will be more tourists becoming aware of New Zealand, and they become more inclined to visit, study, or conduct business here. Opportunities for New Zealand to experience world-class events. With the Rugby Sevens leading by example, this will open up connections with national and international senior leaders and business people. Creation of trade and investment opportunities, which will deepen trade and investment relationships with the 16 international countries that will be attending the tournament. Encouraging and participating in Rugby Sevens, which will bridge the gap between schools and clubs to increase participation and awareness. Educational opportunities, again, which will create educational programs for schools that increase involvement in sports clubs, promoting cultural and sporting values and disciplines about their countries and cultures. For an event like the Sevens, it is a legal responsibility and duty of care to ensure those attending are safe. The first step we need to do is identify the risk. An example of a risk is alcohol. So the event organizer must ensure that the license adheres to the regulations so that there is no issues that arise. The event organizer must also make the licensee aware that what is expected, as they are ultimately responsible for the service. Bar staff must request identification if there is any doubt about a person's age. This risk is very different to family zone risk. As it is alcohol, there is a lot more risk involved with intoxicated people. False accreditation is also another risk involved. Security will be trained to recognise false tickets, badges, and also coloured wristbands. Once we have identified the risk, we need to avoid or isolate it as much as possible. So we need to prioritise which areas of risk can be accepted. Once avoiding it, we can minimize the risk, which is about reducing the likelihood a risk will become a reality. If we can't minimize the risk, we need to transfer or share the load. So this means deciding who will be responsible for the mitigation, who is usually a specialist. The Red Badge team will be joining us on the event day. So we will be working closely with the team to present and speak to the Tauranga City Police and venue operator. The Red Badge security are highly trained professional security guards who help plan, advise, and management with the event organizer. They will be providing well-trained staff specifically for sporting events. The police will be there to advise, as they will be informed of the event and the roles of employees and volunteers. Let's now have a look at our staff and volunteers. Without these guys, it would be a struggle to manage an event like the Rugby Sevens. The workforce planning should not differentiate between the paid staff and volunteer staff. Everybody is treated equally and everyone receives the same attention. An external human resource manager will help to select staff and volunteers that are enthusiastic with a great attitude. Part of the process for employment is the recruitment and selection of the staff, the orientation of what the role involves, the performance appraisal, training for the day, and development for any progression that can be made within the event itself. There is a volunteer manager who will be looking after the volunteer staff and their needs, and also Sports Bay of Plenty along with an event organiser will look after the paid staff. You need to have these managers on board so that any staff can approach them at any particular point in time for any issues that may arise. So here the communication needs to be on point. To market the Sevens event to ensure that there is a lot of interest, we will be broadcasting across the radio, TV, print and social media. To do this, we will be negotiating on preferred timings or advertising to maximise the interest to the public. With the print, we will be advertising in newspapers, billboards, posters, and also handing out flyers to the public. In the social media, we will be involved with Facebook, websites, blogs, and we will also be working closely with Sports Bay of Plenty and clubs around Tauranga to be involved in their social media. Community activation is also another way to publicise the event. We can do this by meet and greet with the athletes along with fun challenges with the athletes on a Saturday morning sports campaign. Okay, let's have a look at ambush marketing and how we can overcome it. So if we leverage the event experience, we can create additional benefits and enthusiasm that will maximise the public experience. Creating terms and conditions of the sale of tickets will help to state clear conditions of what the ticket holder can and can't do with their ticket. Connect with the target market, especially our sponsors and any stakeholders, to establish a good relationship. Bespoke legislation that is specifically designed to prevent ambush marketing. We also need to be checking surrounding areas for any other advertising or marketing, including the transport and any routes that people might take. So here's a thought. Why not host the World Rugby Sevens here in Tauranga? It's in a prime central location with loads of attraction to cater for all needs. Not only will it bring revenue to the event and its stakeholders, but also to the wider Bay of Plenty region. It provides the opportunity for emerging youngsters to keep up close and personal with the stars of the event, and also provides employment opportunities for those interested in the sport and recreation industry. So why not? Give it a go. What have we got to lose?